The National Guard is going in to evacuate. The first priority are babies, mothers, and this one gentleman that's here that's been helping his parents, elderly parents, will not come out. So he's actually got to take his boat and go in and take medicine to them continually because they won't come out. It just shows the severity and the enormity of how much, the severity of the storm and how much is left to be done and how we really need all the help we can, all the teams we can, medical teams, evangelistic teams, construction teams. This is going to be a very, very long process. They are telling us that from where I'm standing now, on dry ground, that there's 4 miles from where I'm standing now before there's any space of dry ground again. So you live in the area?
Yes, we live in the enclave, myself and my 2 children.
Mm-hmm. So were you there as a mother, single parent mother along with them?
Yes.
Tell me what it was like.
It was a restless, probably 2 days. We live in the back of the complex, so normally flooding doesn't affect us, but that night, every 30 minutes you get up and you check to see how high the water is, and it came to a point to where we just had to go. So
how did you get out?
We walked. We all had boots. We're, Girl Scout and Boy Scouts. We had our boots. But we walked to an apartment that had a 2nd floor. Then that apartment started taking in water on the 1st floor. So as soon as daylight hit, we went out of a window and just walked through the water to come out here.
So when you went to the 2nd floor where there's an apartment, was it an abandoned apartment or someone staying there?
It was a vacant apartment. Yeah.
How did you get in?
Well, we just, somebody on the complex had a key.
Yeah, and you were able to get in?
Yeah, it was like, we don't care what they say. Everybody
of course,
needs to
it's
get
survival. It's survival
so,
at this point. And you had your babies with you too? Your mother trying to figure out, I need a safe ground for my babies.
Exactly,
wow.
exactly.
And then the next day you were able to?
As soon as daylight hit, we left,
So where did you have to go to? Because our biggest thing is, in the story we want to tell, many people have nowhere to go.
Okay. Well, luckily, her aunt has a house, and we're there for a couple of days until, we can figure out what's what. So now I'm just trying to figure out if I want to, see what they're talking about or just move on with my life and see what FEMA and my insurance is going to do.
So what do you mean when you say see what they're talking about? Is it trying to go back and stay in your place or what?
Yeah, if they're going to try to put us in a sister property, if they're going to...
Meaning the complex?
The complex,
Got
yes.
you.
Yeah. If how long is it going to take for them to fix this, what our options are,
So what about work and everything? You just had everything suspended. And school for them, I'm sure.
Yeah, so they go back to school on the 11th, and I go back to work on Tuesday. Wow. So
you got a lot to figure out by Tuesday.
A lot to figure out by the time they go to school.
What's your name?
I'm Jennifer.
Jennifer, we're going to be praying for you.
Thank you.
And we even right now, they can have this conversation, and we can be having another conversation.
Yes, exactly.
And we just touch and agree in the name of Jesus that God will give you wisdom, that not only will help come from the sanctuary, but we're bringing in teams, and we're looking for families that we can adopt and be with them long term. Mm-hmm. And if you don't mind, we'd love to get a way to keep in touch with you.
Okay.
We're not saying that we can put you in the Waldorf Astoria, but there's some mother watching, there's some church watching, there's some father watching, some sister watching that's saying, you know what, I want to help her and her 2 kids, even if it's just on whatever level. And it's just simply our way of saying we care.
Yes.
Care. And I always say this, that this is how he measures our love for him. Not how much we worship, sing, pray, speak in tongues, but our love one for another. Lovest thou me, Peter? Feed my sheep.
Right.
So we're going to give you a way to get in touch with us. We're going to be back. You can reach out to us anytime.
Okay.
We're going to be around because the common mistake is that everybody's here when the cameras are here when it first happens. And a week and 2 or 3 down the road,
you don't see
out of sight is out of mind.
Right.
Yeah. So we're trying to do it different this time.
Thank you.
Yeah. So when did you all have to evacuate? When did you all finally get out?
It was Sunday morning at 2 a.m.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, so everything was looking good Sunday morning. We came outside, we looked at the street, saw Cullen Park was starting to flood, but everything still looked pretty good. Looking at the storm and where it was located on the map, I was thinking, we were going to pretty much do all right, but then they opened up the Addicks Reservoir, and within about 6 hours, the water was right there at my door. And then
why did they open up the Addicks Reservoir? I couldn't understand what that's all about.
They opened it up because basically what they were saying is the longer it had to hold that much water, it jeopardized the structural integrity of the dam itself. So if they kept holding that water, there was a chance that it would damage. They wouldn't be able to control the releases. Whereas if they started purging it, they could lower the water level. It wasn't as much strain on the dam, and it allowed them to keep from damaging it. It was actually the Army Corps of Engineers that decided.
So they were trying to protect the...
Right.
Gotcha.
They were trying to protect the dam as well. I mean, at least with that, there's some kind of control with how much the water rises. If that thing collapsed and they lost everything, this whole area would be underwater.
So were you given any type of a notice that this is what we're getting ready to do?
Yes, they did actually do a pretty good job through Facebook and all the different social media, getting the information to you, saying they're about to purge it. This is the time that they're going to open it the first time. Be prepared for it.
But there was no one like knocking on doors. There was anything from your apartment complex knocking on the door.
They did come to our door. The fire department was walking through the neighborhood wearing, the bright yellow jackets with the radios and the flashlights, knocking on doors, asking people, hey, look, this is what's happening. Do you want to get out of here? If not, it's fine. It's up to you. But this is possibly the last chance that you may have.
So at that point, it was voluntary evacuation.
Right.
Wow. So this time, a few days ago, this was all underwater.
Right. We actually came here 3 days ago, and you see that white truck sticking out in front of the Chevron sign?
Uh-huh.
The water was above the headlights. It was above the headlights, but right at that seam for the hood. So that's just how much it's gone down in the past 3 days.
And there are still people to be evacuated. There's still people living in
being
these.
evacuated, and as far as I know, they're saying this is supposed to stay here for about, not necessarily all this, but a lot of this water will be here for another 10 to 15 days.
And one man that's on the other side here that's taking medicine to his parents, his elderly parents, they just will not come out. They refuse to come out.
They're set in their ways.
Yeah.
I understand. I mean, with all the looting and all the bad stories you hear about people posing as firemen and whatnot, yeah, there's been a couple of cases of people posing as firemen telling people it's mandatory evacuation. As soon as people evacuate, they'll go in and they'll rob the house.
At a time like this.
At a time like this. Of course, there's always going to be people to take advantage.
Mm-hmm.